Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Magnus, and today we're going to use the VSX provisioning tool to create VS2. We actually created VS1 within the GUI, so we will use the VSX provisioning tool to actually show what type of configuration was made, and we will use the VSX provisioning tool to see that. And then we will use the VSX provisioning tool to actually create VS2 as well. So then you have seen it both in GUI and in VSX provisioning tool, so that's great. Then you can pick which one you want to use within your own production. So to use this tool, we need to go into the MDS and we need to be in expert mode. And normally I always do an MDS stat, so I see that all the management stations and so on are up. And VSX provisioning tool is installed on all the management stations running R80. So we can use this from scratch without installing anything different. And to use this, then we use VSX_provisioning and then yes tab, and it will write out the provisioning tool. And the next step is to do -s for, I think it stands for server. And then we will select which one do we actually have this VS in today. And that will be in 601. So that's this one. So copy paste. And then we will do -u for user, and admin. And then we will do -o, and I think that's for, and let's see, I think that's for like output, like CLI commands. I'm not 100% sure. I'm actually checking the guide. So here you have the VSX provisioning tool. It's within the documentation. And you can see here, so -u is user, S is server, and O is for commands. And then you can check what sort of commands can you actually run. And well, that didn't say a lot. VSX provisioning, CLI commands. Never mind. We will do show virtual device name, and then it's VS01, because this is called VS01, and then just enter, and it will prompt you for the password. You can put in it in the string here to prompt your password, or to write in your password directly, but I don't want to put it in the screen here. So just hit enter, and hopefully this should work. So this is actually prompting out what we have on this virtual device. So you see here, show virtual system VS01, and then it's add virtual device name VS01 VSX, and this is referring to the VSX cluster. You see here the VSX cluster name, and then main IP and this IP. And if you don't specify this part, it will select the first interface that you actually put in. So in this case, the main IP would have been this one if you didn't specify the main IP. And then it says, and then it has added interfaces. So see here, add interface virtual device VS01 name Ethernet 3 IP, and then the IP address. And here you see something else. So this is the virtual switch. So you have add interface virtual device VS01 leads to, and then this is the name of the virtual switch. Then IP, and this is not included in the command. You see that it's a bracket, so it's not actually listed in the commands. And here we have a route. So how do we actually do this to fix this for our own? All right, so I have prepared this one. So I hope you can see here. So we will make a file. So transaction begin, it's just to like highlight what actually happens. So the first thing that we will change is the VS name, and then we will have VS2. So just Control F and then replace VS and 02. And we did do small ones. Replace all. And then we will have the VSX cluster name. And here we have VSX01. And we need to select the main IP. And I was thinking this IP address, but .112. So 192.168.159.112. And then we need to have an interface, and that will be Ethernet 4. And we will take this one. And what was it there? It was a /24. 24. So we will copy paste them from this one. So this is the virtual switch name. So copy. That's the virtual switch name. And we will use the same IP address because we wanted to show you that it's actually possible to have overlapping IP addresses within a VSX system. And we need to have a default route. So that's .2. And we don't have a special next hop, so that one we can remove. So delete, and then just copy. And let's create a file, I guess. So let's see where we are. So we are in admin. We can do vi and then vs02. And just copy paste all this. Escape and then write. I don't see. And write quit. Now we have a file. So let's go into the CMA number 2, this one. So mds env and then this one. Copy. Paste. And now we will create this virtual system. Yeah, this firewall. So you see here, I don't have anyone. And it's important also that you don't have the smart console open to that specific domain because it needs to lock it while it creates the virtual system. And then we will do VSX provisioning tool. Then -s, and we need to take the specific domain. And then U for username, admin, and we will do, in this case, we will point to the file. So F, and then we have this file. So copy paste, and now we should just do enter. And it will prompt us for the password. And this should create the stuff. I didn't get in transaction, I guess. So let's do VI again. Yeah. So insert transaction begin. And then escape, right quit, page up or arrow up. So let's see if it's creating it. I hope so. I'm expecting it to create it. If not, we need to troubleshoot some. But you see here, it's adding a name. Didn't we do virtual name IP? Let's check the file again. Leads to. Isn't that the same? So if we do like this, and then we do MDS here as well. Do like this, and we do quit, and we have here we add interface VD. Let's do like this and this, and then expert VS, no, VI VS02. So what is the wrong name here? Ah, do you see the issue? Add interface. VD. We need to put virtual device. We need to select where it's pointing. So VD VS0 name Ethernet 4. That looks better, right? So escape, right quit, and let's do like this. Come on. Let's make it work. That one. So it's some failsafe within it. And I don't know if this is good or bad for the video to actually include errors, but well, you get some troubleshooting. And this is just, well, I'm bad in the writing. So now it's pushing the configuration towards the VSX system itself. So it's actually creating the virtual system. And after that, it will actually create the routes. So it will create the virtual system before it actually add the routes. So you see here, it's pushing the configuration to VSX01. So that's great. Successfully updated. Nice. And now it's actually adding the route. So let's see if that's working as well. Nice. So you see here, topology has changed. Please reinstall the security policy. And we see that everything was committed. So you see here, committed lines 1 to 5. That's these ones. And then committed lines 6 to 8. That's these ones. So if you write it correct, it should work. If you put incorrect numbers, it doesn't work. So you see here, now the virtual system is actually created and it's within 602. So let's go into this one, 602, connect to domain, and let's see if we can log into it and actually reach the internet. And then we have actually created a virtual system from VSX provisioning tool with some errors, but well, so here, standard. Let's see if we have the virtual device here, virtual system. So you see here, VS02, and it's the main IP that I talked about. Topology, we have Ethernet 4, we have the leads to virtual switch, and we have the default route. So just imagine this, but if you have 100 interfaces or 100 routes, then it's a lot more efficient than to do it in the GUI. So let's do like this. Let's change the cleanup rule to ping to, no, allow internet, like we did on the other one. So we just do new network, net 10 10 10 0/24. And do like this, publish, and now we will install the policy. And hopefully this works. So it's looking promising at least. And don't do any rules, but well, this is still a training, this is still a lab. So the point is to do some failures and do some troubleshooting and actually find out why. All right, so let's do like this. Let's jump into the VSX itself. And as we're running HA, both of the VSS will be on the same member. So expert. So if I do cph probe stat, I don't see any difference here. But if I do VSX stat minus V, then I now see 2. So I have the virtual switch, then I have VS01 and VS02. So if I want to go into the specific VS, then I just do VSN2 for actually 3, because this is number 3. And then I'm able to hopefully ping Google, and I am. Nice. So let's go back to the MDS itself and actually check what did we do. So within the file itself, this is what we ended up with. So we have the transaction begin, and we have the add virtual device name, and then VS02, VSX. This is not referring to anything. This is referring to that you will specify VSX cluster. So this is the VSX cluster. So we will do like this. I will just update like this. So this is what we did do. That's correct, right? Interface name. Yeah. So here is the show command. I should do domain IP. Username. All right, like that. So here's the guide for actually how to do it, and there are more VSX tool references in the provisioning guide. You can check that out, but this is some basic about how to actually create a virtual system, and we actually did some interfaces, both a normal interface and also something that leads to a virtual switch. And we did do some default route. We didn't add any specific route to a next top IP address, but you get the point. You can add hundreds if you want. The only difference is that it would take longer time to actually provisioning it, but doing it this way is a lot faster than to do it in the GUI. Because remember, there is no add interfaces, etc. if you're going on the VSX system itself. Because the transaction that we did do, or the configuration that we would do, we did do that on the MDS. We didn't do that on the VSX. So the MDS has the configuration, and then it pushes it to the VSX cluster. So the MDS is the most important one, or the management station is the most important one when it comes to VSX. VSX is just, let's say, dumb. So it needs their management server to actually be able to do changing of routing, changing of interfaces, etc., etc. It doesn't need its management station to work. It will still push traffic even if the management station is down, same as any other checkpoint gateway. But you're not able to do any changes on a VSX system without the management station. And just to prove a point, VSX provisioning tool has been around for years. And this is a reference guide on from R76 and higher. I don't think that the commands have changed, but maybe you should check the reference guide for a later version. But still, in this one, it has more explanation on how to actually use it, what you can do and what you can add, like MTU. If you don't want to have the 1500 as default, you can change it. You can change the instances. That's mean the performance on the box, meaning you can do it, and then instead of changing it after. I normally change this after because, well, I don't know, but I normally do that after anyway. And it has some like examples of scripts. So if we scroll down here, we can see more. So here is some script example on what you can do. And just as a reminder, currently, as of R81, there is no API for provisioning the virtual systems. There is an API for configuring and provisioning the VSX clusters and changing the members, but there is no API as of R81 to actually fix the virtual systems and add interfaces. So if you want to do it script-wise, if you want to do it in another way than the GUI, you need to use VSX provisioning tool. So if you're going to work with VSX, make sure to actually learn and use VSX provisioning tool. It will help you a lot. So I think that's it for this video. I hope you did learn something, and you realized that I was in the way for some of the commands, but I think you did get it anyway. And make sure to actually lab this in your own environment so you can actually try this. And I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.